A new unofficial web ad against Hillary Clinton has already got more than 1.5 million hits on YouTube, and it's being talked about all over the political world. Here's a clip of this ad that's a playoff of the famous Apple TV ad from the mid-1980s.
I don't want people who already agree with me. I want honest, experienced, hardworking, patriotic people who want to be part of a team, the American team. I hope you've learned a little bit more about what I'm believing and trying to do, and really helped this conversation about our country get started.
I hope to keep this conversation going all the way to November 2008.
And we should note that the Barack Obama campaign says it played no part in that ad. But it does raise some interesting questions. Andrew Rasiej is a co-founder of techpresident.com. It's a website that analyzes how presidential candidates are using the internet. Andrew, welcome to the show tonight.
Nice to be here.
What do you think of that ad?
Well, it's very provocative, but it's just the tip of the iceberg of how voter-generated content is going to affect and impact the 2008 presidential election.
What do you do if you're Hillary Clinton? Do you laugh and do you come back with your own parody on the parody? Is that damaging? What do you do?
Well, you have to start thinking of your campaign as a savvy media operation and be able to either incorporate supporters' video into your message or defend against it by being able to quickly put something up in response to all the user-generated and voter-generated content that's going to be online.
How effective is an ad like that? I looked at it, I thought it was funny, I thought it was well produced. I don't know if it makes me think any differently about anybody.
No, I mean, there's going to be lots of this during the course of the campaign. But what's important to note here is that the campaigns aren't going to be able to completely control their message the way they're used to. So as these pieces of content start coming on, some of them are going to go viral like this one, and some of them are going to go by the wayside. But now anybody with a computer can make their own 30-second spot for or against a candidate, and it changes the fundamental landscape dramatically.
How does it change the landscape?
Well, if users can now produce video and distribute it, and on behalf of their candidate or against the candidate, they're taking up a lot of the space that the traditional media companies would normally hold.
Well, and it seems that traditional media companies are still held to a certain standard. People will jump all over them if they do something that's considered a vicious attack ad. On the internet, it doesn't matter. People put anything they want on blogs, just about. Seems that you could come up with any kind of negative 30-second spot. It gets on YouTube, and there it is.
But in the last election, we had negative 30-second spots. If you remember Swift boating in the last election, that was clearly an attack ad. So there's a lot of attack ads on television, too. But what we're going to see in 2008 is going to make the Swift boat ads seem like a sale on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh my, what are we going to see?
Well, we're going to see a lot of attack ads, and we're going to see very provocative attempts by people outside of the traditional political system trying to impact the discourse about the campaign.
Be more specific. People outside the
well, look
traditional...
look what happened to Senator Allen with the macaca moment. He was captured on video by someone in the audience, and very quickly that got on the internet. So campaigns are going to have to learn to recognize that they are no longer able to spin the way they would like, that the voter and the audience is as much part of the spin as they used to be.
Do you think that candidates then need to be ready to put out their own clever, cool videos?
Well, I think they have to have a very consistent message on various media platforms. They have to have a message that they're going to put out on traditional television. They have to have one to put in text and in blogs. They have to understand how social networks work and how people are finding each other on MySpace and on Facebook. One of the things on techpresident.com is that we keep track of how many MySpace friends each of the candidates has, or how many views a particular candidate has gotten on YouTube.
Who's doing it best?
Well, of all the candidates, Barack Obama has clearly the most energy in the social networking sites. And a lot of the videos that Barack Obama has either made or have been made on his behalf are getting a lot of views. But none of the campaigns right now really have an edge in this arena.
I have to ask you this, because, you know, Howard Dean's campaign used the internet so well, but the question was then, younger people don't vote as much as older people. A lot of older people don't even ever look at YouTube. So is this a wave that's starting to come up, but it's going to get bigger as more and more kids who are so focused this way become active voters? Sure.
Absolutely. The Internet's a great way to reach younger people and get them to be engaged in the political process. And Hillary Clinton even said that in response to this video. But what you're seeing here is a dynamic where content on the Internet is starting to bleed onto traditional media. We're here on this show talking about it. So it's the people who aren't on the internet who are watching this show are seeing this video and are hearing about the effect of this. So the internet actually is affecting traditional political campaigning in ways that are yet to be fully understood.
What's the number one thing a candidate should do to use the internet well?
Be authentic. Stop thinking about video as television. You know, politicians are used to seeing themselves on camera and think that when they see a camera pointed at them that they're talking to the television audience. But internet video is a little bit less polished, and if they sort of allowed a little bit more behind the scenes, it would make for a better audience event.
And Rasiej, thank you so very much.